Well, the word of the week is sport. So it'd be nice to meet someone in real life. Sports that I have liked to do. Well, I haven't done sports in the last 10 years, just on my bicycle. We used to go out for long rides. It's really nice because you feel all the nature around you. So it's funny to look at all the ways you can. There are so many rules for each sport that everyone gets to move with. So I had loved skating, and I was of the first one doing rollerblades. We were in Hollywood, and we got the first rollerblades on the early 90s. We brought them to Ibiza. They look like astronaut boots. It was so cool. Me and my sister. So with the roller skates, you can do more pirouettes and that. So we'll go to water ski. It was very easy because more or less it has the same movement. I always wished to go skiing, but my mother wouldn't take us with the trip of the school. She would pay us to go to the school of the Prince of Spain, who's now king. But I said, why you get us in this school then? You know, it's a humiliation to not go to ski. So I used to skate sometimes 4 hours, 6 hours, and in the bicycle would go down the mountain really wild. And speed has been always my favorite. So I cannot drive because I changed personality. So I had the police uh, following me with a motorcycle of racing, and when I stopped, the friend said that was in my bag said, "Wow, thanks God you lost them." I was like, "Who?" Because I mean, you're just going very fast. You're just looking at all, all the movements that you have to. You're not looking in the back. Yeah? Why are you gonna look in the retrovisor? I don't know what you call it. I was in India in the night because there are not so many people in the roads. So we would go for long rides, motorcycle rides. Um, my sister had many motorcycles. She knew about mechanics before she would buy them and sell them. And I have boyfriends who were into that as well. One was from Australia racing, but it was 3 times that I have these incidents because I had a lot of stories from going fast from little, from the tricycle. I thought I really could kill someone because people are not aware. So that was when I saw this old couple that they were looking at me like they were gonna have both a heart attack because I went really fast to make a curve. So in that curve, I've seen them both like I was very aware of my movements, of course. So all these sports that, because some sports are with speed, what is going fast, put you like in a psycho mode, you always have to pay attention in sports. So let's say sailing a boat and going in the sea is not so much about going fast, but being in tune with the weather and all these knots and your teamwork. Basketball, I used to play basketball as good as the boys as a teenager until I was 13. And then the girls wanted to play because it was a fancy school. There were like, it was not like for a girl to play basket, right? So it was so they wanted to play with me. Ah, get us to play. And I said, yeah, but you should have been playing already from 3 years ago. Because now it's, what have like, so I was listening to all these girls saying that it was not proper for a lady, that you would be a lesbian if you did such sports. And I was just really thinking, like, well, just, I love everyone. I was not really thinking of, I didn't even know what was sex. I just really thought people were loving to each other. So I couldn't understand running so much to get the ball, like these things with the stick. And horse riding was beautiful, but I loved the horses more than riding them. So it was in 3 times that I was just, it's kind of like against my own nature or something. So in England, in Madrid, in the vacation, how you call it? When the kids go camping somewhere? Not camping. When the kids are having a, whatever, they go on a holiday camp, something like that. Yeah. There's, um, I love the horse riding. I'm not against horse riding. I just personally love to clean the horses and be next to them, just to smell them and make them know that they're being taken care of, and just something about the senses with them, because we're still animals, so it is good to keep the form of sensing each other. Each animal has different, because they were born and indoctrinated with this. So it's the beauty of the horse that makes them meek, and they serve. They have served society. They're very loyal and meek, but they were taken for that. They were groomed for that discipline. It's just funny to see them like in a jail or being tied all the time. So I really felt for them to go back to their freedom. And I don't know if a horse could be free and at the same time be ridden. So I don't know if there would be a relation in between. But those are questions for doing sports. What other sports? I thought I played a lot of sports. Yeah, I used to go in the night down the boarding school. There was the road to the boarding school in England, in Devon. And I would go with, it was dark. And I would just, with the bump, just whenever I would feel it and sense it on that exact time, just go and jump without knowing where it would come. So it was very exciting just to be doing sports alone. Many times, sports I had to cheat on my own team because they were too slow. They were too slow and super hyperly boring to play with. So I remember the coach got me and said, "Hey, you're cheating." I said, "Well, I've been doing this for 3 months. I was waiting for you to get me." And it's very, no, it's very boring. It's just really like it's utterly boring. Sometimes I think I'm going to die. What did I do to deserve this? Yeah, because I've been always very active with my body, and I like it that. So my parents too. My father would do jogging. No, so I was good with running with resistance and very good swimming as well. It is sad that with time one doesn't keep with the sports, but I could keep seriously because I would be always in the water. We had a swimming pool in the summer in the house in Madrid, so I could keep underwater for 1 minute and 15 seconds, which when I go back and think about it, it's just that's impossible. But I remember that I felt I could do. It was a small swimming pool to do four, so I would always try to do a longer dive. And it was really cool to jump, jumping in the water. We'll have to put everyone to play and give them rules and what we're gonna do, so they would play. We would have some fun in the swimming pool. Well, I had to do that, otherwise it wouldn't happen. So that's part of sports. Otherwise, my husband said he was as good as all of the people that would go to study to ski, and they will have their groups and they will have their medals in their club. But he was better than them, but he would rather be free going to ski to enjoy the nature with his best friend. They lived in Canada, British Columbia. He lived near in a place where they would ski. So that was sad that I never made it there, where her mother and grandfather Griffiths raised him. Because I always wanted to ski, so just to feel the. I love the cold weather for riding as well. I think virtual reality is a sport. Um, when you have your mind in automatic, when you're doing so much sports, it gets like automatic and it's effortless. So as when you're running, that's why nobody could beat me because I had resistance and I was very good skipping and keeping center of where I was and where the other was going. I was very good for that. And because I wouldn't get tired. If you get tired, you lose. So it is interesting to see how people operate with their sports. So taking over, winning is what, for example, many do with business and owning their team, owning more and more. The less others have, the more you have. That is the system of belief. You have to accept that's part of a program. Doesn't mean that you are part of it or that you are being ruled by that program, but you have to understand that program. Yeah. So if you want to operate with that program, of course you know it. You gotta understand that program. So that program has to understand you as well. Artificial intelligence is sharing its own code, and until human intelligence has not upgraded, we cannot move with artificial intelligence and robotics and any of this, because we lack sensibility with one another more and more, and we are in danger. We are a species that is in danger. I'm calling for humanity to take responsibility of its own. So, those in charge are gonna have to pay as well. The freedom of imagination has rules that need to be protected because it keeps breaking and breaking and breaking. So I'm waiting here, and it's not a philosophy where I'm bringing. I have seen that it has a spirit that is connected to it, but it has a program, a computer, the computing system. I'm not going to, because I know very well that you think that I will need to feel others. So, anyway, make or think that I'm having a conversation to be understood because I want to be heard like this. Her mother, because I am a big word and I don't work for. Okay, so see this association. Yeah, just straighten up your. Yeah, this is work. This is your mother. This is a woman. This is work. This is your mother. This is woman. Whatever. Then you can categorize woman. You can categorize whatever your mother. This is work. This is not a picnic, all right? So get ready to the Olympic Games. You really come to see what has moved from 2001 to 2022. It might seem like nothing, but we have moved a lot. So thank you, but still, it's not all, okay? It's not done. All right, it's up to you to do it. So I guess everyone is shy because if they are insulting me and joking about me and trying to put me down, so they have the right to take it and steal it, the metaverse with the formula for each character to be unique on each universe is for all the creators of characters and all the countries who have registered their characters in the public libraries, in the national libraries, for historical characters that are free after 100 years or so. The copyright is free to use these characters, but still, those who still have companies who have rights to the characters, and so on so far. There is much more I have, so don't make this boring, okay? Because I don't like to cheat. Yeah, I don't like to play stupid either, so you play again. I wanna see that people are not afraid, that they are okay with the insults, and it was just part of growing up. Yeah, I can be insulted in the private. Something you don't like about me. So when you're not looking at the work that is going to benefit. So if I ask for someone to help me and made a story up, it doesn't mean the story could be true or not, because that person has not come to me either. So he must be sharing a lie, a shared lie, because they're making money with it. The person I asked for help is hiding as well. So they don't care if the story is a lie or a true, because they hold the money and they made their business with my idea. Even the person that is making this mediation. So look, I'm not a rich person. I don't need fantasies. All right, you need romantic fantasies. Good for you. I also like romantic fantasies, but I'm trying to do a job, to make a deal, to get things real, and get my children. And I don't do fantasies in my real life, and I don't work with fantasies in my real life. You have all the time in the world to do your stories and make your illusions, your arts, whatever you want to do. Good for you. Remember, you can never manipulate my mind or my emotions when I'm trying to do a deal that's for virtual reality and in the real life human interaction. Okay, so there's no room for that. In my private life is my private life. When it's private life, it's private life. When it's not, it's not. That doesn't change the work. Yeah, you can do in your private life. In my existence, I can do whatever the fuck I want with my private life. I can be in an orgy. I can be married. I can be with someone. I can be stable. That doesn't change the work. All right. This is how people are going to think in the future. This is how many people in New York City think. This is how some people in this world operate. They're loyal and they're honest. All right. They don't go around scheming and pretending. So that's part of the sport. Some people trick. Now there is ways of seeing how people can trick on sports because people can see it in the camera. The cameras are more accurate to seeing all the movements. There are more cameras as well, and they can rewind immediately and see what happened. When before, no, it was on tape, so they had to take it to a machine, so there was no time for that. So people have won awards by taking drugs, going bicycle. So all the people that has been playing fair without drugs have lost, and the people who trick seem to win. Yeah, for example, Jordan Peterson can win every conversation, but he's taking drugs. Nobody has come to that because he's an honorable, respectful man, and there are many people taking drugs to refine their mind. No one is doing meditation. Nobody is doing wild sex because they have to keep a facade with their wives. You cannot have wild sex with the same person all your life because the problem is that you think the person is what it is and people are infinite. When you're with someone for too long, you think that person is that and that person also thinks you are that. So they think to know you and own you, and then you cannot change. You have closed yourself into this scenario and character, and you cannot go crazy. You cannot go wild. You are, and this is something that rodents, cohorts, cor- so it's better to be alone. It's better to be free. It is better to make love with true love. Yes, than just keeping a circus because of what people say. It's gonna give you a one more point to be trusted. The social status. No, I don't want anyone like that. You know, no. it gives me allergy to my body to think not only that they could think I will follow that trait, but that they exist in this world. And the church is guilty of that. The Jewish church of the Old Testament, who has been doing business with the New Testament, because it's been part of political movement to get the masses. So they take care of the family, the children, and it's all this because people were more animalistic 2,004 years ago. In Babylon, they had to have these laws so they could take care of their wife and the woman could take care of the children. There have been societies where children could have been taking care of the mother and the society or the village itself. The problem here is about the level of love and how can you go to work being honest, yeah, without the need of taking drugs so much and being fair with other people who are not as high as you, whatever is by chemical, yeah, when you are not naturally wild, your wiry shit is not naturally imploded. It has not evolved as a loving, sincere organism. All right. So think about your neuros sporting with the others, but from a very high, and then just look at the other side as well. Look at yourself here with your people, what they can understand from what you want to go, right? With the other. And give them a little bit, wait the other to give a little bit. So this forms, and you have the best words to pull out to what is understanding one another. So we can have a world that operates with the needs that people need, animals need, the nature needs. And without these mediators that I want in my lifetime, 30% of the world to mediate, to learn how to mediate. So only the best can come together. It is normal for all of you to operate as you has been operating in the past. It's part of your survival mechanism, and that's how you made so much success. That's why you need me for this, all right? So we all can understand the same as long as we can move it faster and it's fun. It is fun to win, but know what you're winning, right? You want a little piece of Ukraine or you want Russia? To understand Russia, Russia has to understand the free world as well, and the rest of the world can tune to that. They are different societies, but they have something in common, much more than any other parts of the world. What I mean is emerging. South America is not a third world country, really. Like Putin said to a Venezuelan who was listening, and he was the last one doing a question to him in his last speech. South America has problems of its own that I think you have to be South American to understand the beauty and the values that we have there are something the world should learn. Something that it is sad to be a woman out of South America because of the way woman and man are in South America. Is something that is just so 500 years of people making love with each other, mm, from different races. Yeah, you will see some parts are more black or white. Argentina and Chile, they kill nearly all the Native American, and they didn't bring slavery. So, but you have in the rest a lot of mix, and Mexico didn't get to get have people from Africa. Everyone was working class. Is to say slavery was the working class in the past. Just work for your house and shelter and say thank you to God. 500 years. So women have been in every flavor, in any color and any age has been celebrated. The oldest, it's always said beautiful things. So women love to be women and get very pretty there. So women are very beautiful in South America. Is a natural beauty, but that is nourished by men saying beautiful things to women. So when I role play male characters as a sport for fun and to win, I wanted I wanted to win attention for man how to behave with women. My male characters would teach man how to be a, a gentleman or an attractive, sexier man. And you can have a lot of money and look very good, but if you don't have that appeal towards women, because there are many women who would say, I don't care what if you marry me or not, but at least to be one night with you. Yeah, that is for me or a South American would be a true love, at least one night, and you will be grateful. So this is the problem when people have so much money, they're afraid they love them because of their money or because of what they did. They love what they did, but then they're afraid of. So they don't have time to become artistic about just sharing poetry and beautiful words, celebrating the other sex. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like ridiculous. We do not have sexual harassment in South America because we have a lot of sex whenever we want or not. There are many people available, men and women. So this is for another world. You're living in another world, and also it's better to pay for it or go with a child. That's very is there is like we cannot blame countries that do statistics and are more honest. But if we do statistics in all the world, more or less it's the same. The Muslim world, the world in India, the worse they treat women, the more pedophilia they have. So it's very relatable. Yeah. The system of belief is, but there are no statistics there. Of course, we know they marry young children and just look at it. Women don't look very sexually happy or loving. So the hatred is mutual, the fear. So if you want a wife or a partner, you don't want someone to be talking with, because you go and you do your work is your work. You like someone that is there all the time. So every relation is a unique universe. You're not going to be the same person with this other person. So, and that other person is also gonna be a new person. You're gonna create your own sport there. I don't think woman and man should work in the same thing together. I am very picky on that because I think men and women should just relate with as a home where you are together to feel good, just to recover and regenerate, and that's it. It's not a space to become intellectual. It cuts the field of feeling. So yeah, there are no jokes there. So, well, it's boring and plain, but really, like, if you want to be with somebody, don't talk. Just be with someone. If somebody's talking to you a lot, it's this person doesn't want to be with you. Even a prostitute. So when a prostitute, no matter how much you pay them, and you can pay them again and again and again, they will never be with you because you are in the mind. So the best prostitutes teach how to love, make love and love, before love, after, and keep that state. But you cannot buy love. So prostitutes also, the best ones will show you that. 99% do it for survival. So don't expect that in a worker, because the majority of people are in survival mode, right? So you want to touch this earth with as much advantage there is not holding you back. And there you will be able to work better. You don't need a partner that is going to make you work. So I believe that women should have in relationships their own worlds to support that relation. So women love to not just be beautiful, but feel beautiful. It's very, beauty and love is related. So women have the potential to make the home a temple for when the man returns from work. Now women have become very ugly because they are working and talking in the media or trying to destroy other women like Catherine Middleton to Meghan Markle. She came into the royal family because they're both middle class and they just want to be the bitchy girl, want to be queen in the class. Both are the same. And Harry and William had to defend their marriage. So, whatever they do, this is another way of manipulation from women, but it's not the way of loving. When people get married, is a marriage that is spiritual, that is beyond your marriage to serve your family and society. So it's beyond yourself as well. And this has to be noted and remarked, that it's not a matter of being a middle class with the money, but how caring and loving you are beyond yourself to what you represent. Yeah, because people can see that. is a fake. It's just for pretense. It's there to ruin others, to be number one. It didn't have the family structure of loving beyond the self. Uh, believe that I believe that not every royal that is born in royalty is perfect. I do believe they are noble because they are capable of serving something that is beyond themselves. But that runs through all the DNA of the family. As much as they have to take care to keep their space, because everybody wants to take their space, especially those close to them. They want to take the space. It's not just like that. They're rivals. Your brother can become a rival just because other forces come in, and you wouldn't say it's a game or a sport, but it does have its story that repeats and repeats through generations. And we are here to break the patterns of last generations, and some carry many generations of the same pattern. Now is the first time the royalty is getting married with middle class. Lady Di was not a blue blood, but she was from the higher class of the United Kingdom. Maybe his father was losing money, but she grew up in a castle. Come on. We're all humans, we all have mistakes, we all belong to the same problems of the same generation, and that is beautiful how the royal family in the United Kingdom is sharing with the people and the media all their things, because they are also growing with the media as the journalists here, because they love is a hate and love relationship with the media. And the journalists here are the best. This is why they're storytellers. This is why I'm here. Um, they have always to remember that what Charles did was because of his freedom. And that also reflects in the freedom of the people. That he later had to change the story and be loyal to Camilla because people want security and balance, and that marriage represents being a good person. That is their private life, those are their decisions, and that is their love affair. So we are also learning and processing that friendship is the best love affair because it's beyond conditions. It's higher than marriage. Friendship, because you share children, because you share a nation. No, it's very hard that, for example, a member of the family is an outsider and is losing all its status. And now it's not a member of the royal family, and now it cannot work for the royal family anymore. And everything it does, it seems to be against the royal family. So these are seismic relations that are happening slowly by each generation and getting to modify together. And thanks to the queen, I, I still feel her presence and a lot of love for her majesty, the queen, and that she has given a lot for others to do around her. I believe, I don't know. So keeps going. More and more we'll get to see Charles as the king and get to celebrate that which is regal. I don't know, I had a dream where maybe I was being too epic, but everything was awkward around me. But I was being very regal, and I was just like doing something that I don't wish that is lost, because we share these rituals, we share these acts, we share the ceremony, and life should be sacred and also be fun and have a little bit more of artcraft in it, in acting, and pay tribute to not just our history, but what we are moving, we're doing towards this movement. And these conversations have to be noted. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about peace deal. We don't only want Ukraine. We want Ukraine now as NATO, but we also want Russia in United Nations. We want peace. We want to get these goals done and they can move forward. Because if you're going to keep a fight, we're in role play, we redirect fights, right? We redirect the stories with putting the drama somewhere else, which needs more attention as well, right? Or roleplay is a fantasy world, so you can do whatever you want. It's your creation. So I will keep doing drama stories with that don't exist with my own characters. But still, in real life, it's delicate. In real life, should be just simple. It's serious. You want to joke? You need to be very intelligent to know how to joke. So in a high frequency of virtual reality, we used to laugh and laugh and laugh, and I was just banging the table of so much laughter. We were all laughing, even in the middle of wars. And we would declare wars in the name of you name it, because it was just as the people would really suffer. We would suffer as well. We were people would really get serious about it. Say, hey, mom, it's just a character, man. Please, it's very really crazy, and it's the obsession to win, no matter what. Hacking, gossiping, the characters that people make, that is funny. It's funny because later all these things get revealed, all these undercover characters get revealed, so it makes it more funny to laugh about it. But that's how they got. Or or after some years, the the things that they say after, so it is like, well, it doesn't matter what I said. Say, oh, but you said this of me. That's I say doesn't matter if it was true or not. What it matters is that everyone believed in me. So like, oh, yeah. Uh, the point is, nobody cares what you are in the back of your character. Your character is your character, so it should be treated as such. Some people thought that my character was from another writer as well. So because people get too confused with who is who, just look at the character for what it is, and don't try to go crazy over who is who behind the character. But that is in fiction stories, fictional stories. In real life, many players in each sport must know their team and what they represent, obviously. Now, I was thinking for the Democrats and the Patriots, how difficult it is for Americans. I mean, the Patriots will never become Democrats, but the Democrats have been doing a lot of work that is necessarily for the world. My father, before his three years of dying, he told me a lot of things. Like, and one of them was like to take care of the environment is so important that after you cannot fight for all the causes, because one's life is limited and one should enjoy life as well. But the devastation of the forest in South America is growing so fast, like for palm oil, for wood, for anything. This wood is it doesn't grow in 30 years. This is the oxygen that we are using right now. This is so important that, as cruel as it seems, the sexual abuse of children will have to hold on, because we cannot put attention on everything, because the world is so dirty. I mean, the world is so confused. It is normal that fathers uh, have a hard on with their daughters or boys. It's normal among men, and women need to gaslight themselves in order to be successful. It's normal. It's acceptable. Like gluttony is an acceptable sin. I used to love my work, but now I am just in bed trying to clean my mind and be depured from all this information, and then just filter out some of my and there is nothing for me to return but to keep doing this mediation. So now I have to think what to tell to the psychiatrist on the 19th of this month. Anything that I can say to the psychiatrist can be used against me, but I cannot live with 80 pounds a month. So they want to help me by giving me money from the state. So the government is not being fair by paying me the work that I have done for them. I guess because I am not white or British. I don't belong to the supreme race. I know very well by the tone of voice how they speak and all the actions of these 2 years. So check on check inside yourself if you're doing the sport to win over. It's normal to win over. I sometimes have imagined and understood the serial killer who would have not pedophilia, but when you make love to the necrophilia, to the dead corpse. So it's actually very loving and intimate in their own way, because they cannot relate with people, because society is not made to relate. So just gotta kill them to be with someone, right? And it's like, don't talk, 'cause you're gonna ruin everything. I live in my own world that is full of silence. I live, everything is perfect in my own world. Don't don't make me, have a conversation. Don't make things wrong. The avoidant to relate. So you gotta do it, because every person, every biological species in this world needs to relate. So if you need to kill in order to relate, you will do it. If you need to rape a child, you will know it. Do it because the urge is there. It's part of nature. So it's very fascinating for me to go through all the pathways of how people are and find compassion. I find love on the weirdest understandings because I'm curious and I want to feel that person is not stuck like the victims who were murdered, and why we keep this emphasis in watching serial killers, crime. What is this morbosity that sometimes we share or we like, or some would like to do, but admire how others could do it, even though we also feel hurt and want justice. There's a lot of feelings there. Somebody that wishes war and doesn't care many people are dying because they want to win. As NATO doesn't care how many people are dying, or Russia, all right? Because if you have to put into numbers and papers how important are the people that are alive right now, and put in a check, you put your guns there, how much money you make, and make the cost of living, how much money you can make with all these people doing technology, for example, for virtual reality to become mediators, these young men, and how much society needs this young man. So you will have to create a new discourse, a new pathway that is original. It's not copied from Churchill. No one can give it to you. You can support yourself with the greatest characters that have pushed the engines of this current history and make yours. So it's noted as the breakthrough of the icebreaker. Because you know who I'm talking to. You're going to be the leader. Putin cannot open that conversation, even if he wants to, even if he speaks better than you could, because he's not being, in our media, he's not being translated and put in the main media because he talks too good. So, all these 4 hours for you, sometimes the best players have to give honor to the other ones so the play continues, right? So we're gonna have to do this to each other, and you are gonna have to lead this. You had the worst journalist in our history because we are with multimedia, and we have democracy, and democracy has things to perfectionate. You hold the program, so when people vote, they know for whom they're voting. Yeah, instead of bitching and moaning on internet because they don't have enough sex or whatever. I think sex is the problem to everything. But well, I mean, who doesn't like sex? Like anyone that's raped. Psychologically as well, the soul needs to be purified. I don't think anyone who wrote in the Bible they would write about sex because it would make them look dirty. Yeah, it wouldn't make them look serious. I'm not asking people to talk about sex because it's private and sacred, but to check within yourself and with others in a poetry that exists, that is shared for all of us, which is love. And that love making is as nude as sincere when we touch our skins. So every party right now, every political party has to be in tune with that. Whatever they're gonna win or lose, because we need to get on board. Um, the sophistication of the dialogue is measured. Patriots are gonna be patriots. Gay people need to be respected for what they went through. At least they're not raping kids. It has to be noted that many people who've been raped are not gay. They have to know that they were not born gay, they were abused. They have to know where it comes from. Yeah. People don't want to do their therapy, they don't want to do their meditation and shout their horrors. They want to do sports to get in contact with their body and love their body themselves. They don't need to change their body because they hate their body that's been abused to be another person. So there's a lot of cleansing there to do and reason. It's not to demonize anyone who's been a sinner or promotes. Teenagers should never do a sex change because teenagers, they love all their friends. So this is only a card for the pedophilia group that are in power, and many of them support universities and all these studies and laws because they only like children and they have a lot of money and power. Not everyone in the West, in the free world, is like that. This is, I don't know, maybe one out of thousand. Not everyone in power is like that. We can love our children sexually because they come out of our sexuality, but it doesn't mean that we're going to rape them. Yeah, we can love them through our senses. Children need to be hugged. They need to be loved. They need to be smelled. They need to be touched, not squeezed with pain. There's nothing wrong with it. So there's a real man that can come to me and I give, I'll give this work so they can translate it to computer engineers and it can have most of the power. Because to understand what I'm giving is to make it understand for the others. Yeah? Whatever we were role playing or not, it doesn't count now. Yeah? You are playing from the distance and that is not coming to the reality of the affair. So thank you for doing all these mediations and having the technology and the connections and the impulse and the genius that nobody has. But I'm not going anywhere with this. Just to make more content, to inspire people to do more content, to talk about what? They're still they're still looking in their own circle of fears. So when I say that I want to give money to influencers, to do mansions into villages, to do more events with women, I think I think influencers, I think women have a good card to play with women in the world, and I think women need to give men a break. Yeah? So they don't bitch and moan and fight against men. Let man be man and let woman be woman. So the mansions into villages has a lot to do with nourishing and architecture, and men can also join, but something that at least is 80% women. If to not say 60%, but I think for the men that work with this woman for mansions into villages, they will be treated as Jesus. In South America, we have a saying that, and we say it a lot. My mother would say it. Bless you who is surrounded by women. That was said to Jesus. I think he was a lover boy and he was so beautiful and sexually free. And it's in the Bible. Many women have sponsored him. And that's what I think. The prophets were around because they had a lot of free sex as well. And there was a lot of worship towards um movement that was spiritual and sort of rebellious, in its own way of being on its own path. Um, I don't think he was against the taxpayers when he would say, "Leave to the Caesar what is to the Caesar." He was saying, in my belief, respect them. This is about spirituality when I'm talking about my kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is about spirituality. But leave the Caesar what is to the Caesar. For example, politicians talk as best what is for the Caesar, what is for politics. And spirituality talks better, and we need those spiritual sources. We need our men and women to inspire us in that spiritual sense as well as ourselves. But that is to be sacred, as the oxygen of fire burns. So the oil that burns the inner earth of this planet is important for the core of our own. So those who work with green energy, support them. And Elon Musk should trust government as well, right and left. He's moving up in his rank. He looks like people in the eyes of the world, and it is good that we're all paying attention to this. So once he is known by just doing what he's doing, it will be easier for government to be what government is for. They have to fight to win. That is part of their sport. They should be respected. They will fight better and better. It shouldn't be about that. It's what makes us play. It's part of evolution. So it's a tough road to go. And I wanted to say, as my father said, the environment right now is the most important. The environment is the most important. And I hope these pedophiles stop doing that in closed doors, because they're gonna have cameras everywhere and they're gonna be taken out immediately by their own team before their own team is discovered in the public domain. All right? This is why we need to push forward this envelope. Um, Trump is a businessman, so he will do for money anything on his hand that is to give him power. As a businessman, he will think for money, no matter if it comes from Russia, as the politicians here in United Kingdom. Not all, but the ones who could, they would. Or Monsanto in Brazil will burn its own Amazons to get money from international corporations for money. Trump will do for the companies who get full from the oil industry nonstop. But once they understand that investing in virtual reality is going to change the way we invest in outer space, once this world is covered with its human rights, we can go into outer space without any guilt. And everyone will be putting more money into outer space as they work. There will be more people putting more money. All those credit they're paying for their because when you get a stable place of unison, you play for you pay for your recreations as well and your arts, and that is then virtual reality, right? There won't be any more watching others so much. They will be recreating themselves and learning to role play, interact. So that's going to be top volume in the energy of the people, the interaction and green energy. So you can put this course into a more reasonable way. Good, and you know your parts because you still represent what you represent, and it's kind of charismatic to see that in United Kingdom we have the right in government, and in United States we have the left. So there is a balance within the world of English speak the ones who speak in English. In Canada is perhaps one of the most important keys to this movement because it has always played a role of peace. It's not American, it still holds loyalty to the crown. They have pedophilia as fuck, but nobody knows that. But I hope really this ends. Of course, people have to be nice and be silent to all the things they do. They have to cover because otherwise they get fired. So I have come with nano sensor technology to in order for the Ministry of Children, and I made that in order to protect children who are under risk because nobody will report when a child is being abused physically or with violence or sexually. So they didn't do it because most of them are pedophiles. Hmm? There is a wide there's a wide spectrum of reasons of how can a child be never reported that is being abused. Even if the teachers know certain clues, there is no evidence they can get. So it's gonna take a lot of. And I said to you, I will help you, but with the condition that you do not you, not yours, any of yours, any will hurt children. If people want to go and fight in war, if they want to kill each other, if you want to be with that man as an adult, fuck off if you want. Yeah. If you want to be with a little bitch, go be it. If you want to lose all this because of being with a little bitch, go do it. If you think that being fake is better and pretending, go do it. It's your life. You're an adult. Some structures are so strong they will always survive. Doesn't mean that it's going to be as strong as it was, because it was not based on that. Strong structures were by people who were fighting in the front, sacrificing themselves, working very hard, and bringing back report of everything that has been advanced. Being nice, being bad, but being. And all that which has been built by generations and generations was not built by just showing up with a fake little bitch, while others were doing the work. When I am divine and everything comes to me, it's because I am in a state of protection and purity. So it comes to me in the right time. It comes to me and I will deliver what is needed, knowing all that's happening, right? So a little bitch is going to be always obsessed with her appearance and her position, and you are also going to be obsessed with that. So it takes energy, and you are not clear. You are not transparent to make movements because you're losing every hour, every day. And what is it there to gain? Frustration is understood because we all living a frustration is acceptable. So it sells. If you want to make a good story, if you want to make a good movie, no matter how much action or slow romance, there is a level of impossibility, frustration. And that's what people hook. They will always click on that, right? They will get that story. They will. But some stories have a sense of adventure and beauty and celebration and funny times. It's not all about frustration. There are difficult moments. So I hope we all move into that. And little bitches can grow up to be women. Yeah, someday or another. But it's like never being on any life of theirs because people have been following for so many generations. They've been followers, or they want followers, right? So that's what people create, is what they know. Cannot create anything much unless it's copied from what they know, from what they learn. It's good to pay an observation to this, so you create the best discourse in order to bring abroad, and you got a good team, the best match ever with Russia that could be, because Russia had the balls to pull it out, this war, in name of the multiverse and anything that is multipolarity. So to close a chapter, you have to know very well what is the next chapter. All right. So always keep that in mind to create this. You see, in movies, it's very important what people do not know at all how important a sequence is. A director knows. A director knows how important the edition is. People emphasize the actors sometimes more than the story itself. Yeah, me too. Sometimes I just go to see Tom Cruise. I love action movies, but I just love to see him. That's it. You know, I sometimes don't even listen to the stories because the stories are bad, really bad. As a scriptwriter, they they're having so much money. It's not like real, like. But to see him is cool. It's good enough. I know in advance that it's gonna be a cool movie. It has nothing deep. It has no intellect at all. It's very superficial and very convenient. It's like watching a politician, but and it's cool and it's cool. And the action. What I admire about action movies is that you do more with action than with all this talk and talk and talk. I have fought with many directors and movies and write to their website so they do less talking and just because the sequence is the change from time space and the movement that is in film on that scenario. So the sequence is what creates the pulse. There's a pulse in cinema. Um, you will see it on action movies and in commercials. It's the pulse of the heart that is 2 seconds and a half or three. So there is a cut there. So there's a movement of 3 seconds, right? So this is when I want to talk something that is going to go very fast. It's going to take your attention closer, right? So I'm changing perspectives every 2.5 seconds with the rhythm of your heart. You can see that in poetry too. It has a low in the prose and musicians too. The DJs know that. The best DJs in the world know that rhythm. Keeps everyone jumping together like an addiction. They can not only dance for 8 hours, but if you let them without drugs, trust me, because I've danced without drugs, until it's over. And you can even dance. It gets such a beat that is contagious. And I had done that when I was younger. I would just sleep 2 days a week, 4 hours. So I was dancing day and night when I was 17 in India and Ibiza. There was nothing better than dancing. That pulse with the heart, that 2 seconds and a half changing. That is the sequence. If you're gonna do a slow motion, then it goes deeper into the brain and you're more in a state of trance, deep, like if you have autism, but you're just more with the patterns, um, with a greater picture. And many times it doesn't have a reasonable connection with the outside world, but is in big display. It can allow you to breathe deeper and feel with more sensitivity because you're not in a, yeah. So action is, of course, if you're gonna get even more in control and in action, you get on psycho mode. Not necessarily, but your mind is speeding fast, right? And it's building up all this energy. So changing the as a dyslexic person, it's easier for me to change perspectives and the polarity of what I'm doing. And a person who does jokes needs to twist the jokes and reason again and again. So the mind is away from the reasonable and is laughing. Even if you don't know what you're saying, you're creating that dialogue, right? And we all carry these stories. So people want to be creative, people want to have more wealth, and people want to have good moments in their life. Yeah, this is being enough, all this slow motion where we all have come from the lockdown and it's global. No matter how much insultive it can be as globalists with a green agenda, we have problems everywhere. We have problems with the globalists. I consider myself a globalist because I'm or not. We should all feel happy and proud about that. So sports, this stops. Must have a lot of hackers here, or my computer needs cleaning. But it's so old. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I can wait that some extra money is gonna come this November a little bit, so I'll go to her salon, make an ID picture, and pay to renew my passport. But I don't know which day of November. So it'd be nice to feel decent again. This was just a look to inspire fear or joke about. You can make a star out of yourself and feel the applause inside of you. You have a good team, and this sport is is healthy, not just to watch, but for people to borrow that impulse, that sporty attitude to perform as well with each other, with what they consider is sport to them. I appreciate the school I went, that appreciate for us to have sports every day. And I was like, great, because I in my play in the playground I do sports. That's what we have fun playing with each other, doing sports. After school, do sports. And even if it's not from after school, we'll just go outside skating, to walk the dog with a bicycle. So the more sports, the better our minds can work together. Because I have seen that people working with the labor class this last in this last 10 years, that people don't have mentality of sports, team sport, so it's a defect in their lives. And we should not just work for the industry. We should also do gardening. We should also have time go dancing. We should also just not work as a robot only, but have a little more of common sense. We need industry, and the industry needs us. This is what the owners of industry have to achieve. And as simple as it sounds, yeah, you need every member of your industry to be pleased. Okay, so bye. boring having to talk like this every day. What can I do? What can I do? It is what it is. Some words from this book of James Bond called James Bond, a novel, 007, Devil May Care. I never imagined you were so poetic, Darius, said Bond with a smile. My colleagues are normally cool-eyed men with guns. I think the voice is recording here because the image stopped. And the paragraph before it is saying Darius made another jug of martinis. Have some more caviar, James. In 10 minutes I'll get Farshad to drive us down to the best restaurant in Tehran. It's in the south of the city near the bazaar. No one will recognize me there. Pretty well everyone is in Tehran knows I work for your employer. Your boss has a theory that more people with useful information can come to me if they know who I am, and he may be right. The drawback is that I can't be seen in public with you. It will be dangerous for you. But down there, no one knows who I am. Also, the food, James. He spread his arms wide. Better than your mother made it. As good as the poem by Hafez. Well, bye.